Greetings and welcome to Thursday's edition of Women in Trading and Finance. I am very, very excited to be joined by two wonderful women analysts and traders and very active in trader education. So without further ado, this is the guests of the hour, Jane Gallina of It's Airplane Jane Twitter handle, and Anna Metcalf and Anka Metcalf from Trade Out Loud. So let me bring them in and oh, here they are. Can you see us? I hope so. All right.
Hi, everyone. Hello, thank you.
All right.
Thanks
So
for
little
the
house.
invite. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Thanks for the invite.
Oh, my pleasure. So little housekeeping. So I am Samantha LeDuc, founder of LeDucTrading.com, and I started, obviously, this trader education focus where I wanted to bring my blend of macro to micro analysis, education, and trading to the marketplace. Did not see very many women in trading, let alone trader education, and really started to kind of assemble a list so that I could, because I believe in this concept of women can be what they see. And it definitely didn't suit my particular personality to be in a man cave where there was just a lot of bravado. I personally see trading as next, and I just want it to, be in the zone and have a team atmosphere, but without all of the sportsman-like kind of metaphors, if you will, of trading. So basically, I decided that this was my thing, but I wasn't sure if there were other women doing it. So I started looking, and I actually assembled an article. It was published in Benzinga and a few other places. Why don't more women fish? My trading theme on my website is very much, fishing. Good. I fish for a living and I live to fish. Love this business. So I started assembling this list, and it has grown now. I have a FinTwit voice of women list, and Anka and Jane are both on it, and it's just inspiring to see it grow and grow and grow. So I have recently started this series, and Anand of Sanglucci kicked it off with me. He's had to step aside for a little bit, but I'm going to pull him back in, no worries, because it's nice to have a male voice in regards to, what am I doing wrong in the chat room so we can help, women, come into this, because he's very much, a millennial, and he realizes that the chat room is full of bravado, and he's, having to kind of moderate, and that's the last thing he wants to do. So he's very, involved in this. We kind of talked about this and talked about doing a series where we would invite women in trading and finance, whether macro, micro, didn't matter, to get their perspective and definitely share stories and things that the space can do a better job of making it more inclusive to women, specifically attracting, elevating, and inspiring women to trade. And now we have a whole bunch more coming into the industry because of COVID and the She session, and we'll talk about all of that. But I'm really excited because I've had the opportunity to work with Anka. She has this fabulous women trading conference. We'll be talking about that. That's coming up the first week of March. And this is an opportunity to hear many voices of women who are, whether they have a trading service or are they're analysts or traders, what have you. But I think it's a fabulous idea, and I wanted to support and promote that conference. Definitely, I've seen, Jane, your YouTube videos where you are actively trying to pull more women into the space. You're very, I like that, just active in trying to be a voice as well. So ladies, sorry for the long intro, but I was just wanting to set the stage of I'm excited to meet you because we have never met before after all these years. So take it, Jane. What was your first instinct when I reached out to you to say, would you like to come on and let's talk shop? But let's also
no, definitely. Well, thank you so much. I have that same viewpoint that women in the industry are few and far between as being out there and being public and really sharing. It's definitely grown in the past 4 or 5 years. It just seems like it's exploding. There's more women that feel more comfortable to voice what their experience is in the industry. And the more women that lift each other up, the more that come into the industry. In fact, when I started as a day trader, it was back in 2015 when my daughter was 6 months old. I was laid off 8 months pregnant, and I had to figure out, what am I going to do? So a lot of people are probably going through that right now with the pandemic. They might be going through a layoff. And many times it can be an absolute blessing in disguise, because it makes you be resourceful and figure out what you really want to do, what you have a passion for. And in learning to day trade, then I was looking for female mentors as well. And I actually spoke with Anka as well, and she participated in an annual summit. It was postponed last year, unfortunately, but Modern Trader Summit. And I wrote a book about female traders as well called FMJ, Trust, Transition, and Trade, because everybody wants to beep my job. So really trying to, as you say, try to help lift up other women. The market doesn't care who's on the other side of the computer.
Results.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just about, hey, let's trade the price action. Let's trade the stock, the futures, the crypto, the Forex, whatever it is. You learn how to trade it and trade it. It doesn't matter who you are, male or female. It's about the skill, the discipline, and the motivation and passion to make it happen.
Well said. All right. So obviously, Anka, you've been doing this for a little bit longer in regards to spearheading a spotlight on women in trading. What was your inspiration for putting together the Women's Trading Conference, which I think is now in its third year?
Third year, correct. I am so excited. We're in our third year, and we had a lot of attempts to do it actually before, but it never materialized because we, as traders, we're so busy, we pretty much, are doing a lot of research before the market opens and after the market closes. So our job is not only from market open to market close, it actually goes beyond that, way long beyond that. The reality is that when you invited me, I was so excited because we could talk about women in trading. You were actually in, I think, all of the editions of Women in Trading, and so were you, Jane. So I've known Jane for a while, and it was awesome. She actually is putting together every year. She has this beautiful conference where she invites traders from all walks of life. And it's such a great place because we're isolated in our homes. We are just behind a screen and we don't communicate with each other. And we never have really a chance to, get together. But I think that once we get out of this COVID, everybody's going to want to do some kind of traders get together, traders retreat. Today we were talking in the trader room, like we should do a retreat and we should invite other educators and, have, like a big conference and learn and share experiences. So I'm very excited about finally getting a chance to put together this event within the Synergy Traders umbrella with David Kosmeter.
Who's wonderful.
He is wonderful. He's actually doing all the work behind the scenes, like everything that you guys see happening. He's the driving force. He's the engine behind the women's event. Actually, funny story, because I have been trading for such a long time, I'm coming from the investor's background. And then when I dove into day trading, because I wanted an income producing style of trading, what was very funny is that, I met a lot of women where I browsed around. So I went to a lot of conferences. Back then when I started, there were literally no webinars. So you had to pretty much travel to different hotels, conferences, to watch all these webinars that are information webinars that are around right now. So this was back in 2002, believe it or not. And I met a lot of women and we formed a Skype group and we were called the Cougars. And that was like a long time ago. We had women in this group from 20 years old all the way to like 75 and 80 years old. It was so popular. It was so awesome. So that was my first women's group. We were, I think, more than 25 to 30 women in there. And, some traders found out about the group and they were so very jealous. So we started expanding their group. But You know, we did have Zoom. There was only one trading room around back then. It was called Hotcom. I think they're still around. But I'm talking about like really long time ago. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was fun. So we were sharing trading ideas. We were all day traders and swing traders, and we would share our trading ideas in that Skype room. So it was sort of our own little chat room.
Interesting. I had kind of the same experience where I needed to travel, but I wasn't sure what hat I wanted to wear. If I wanted to do more on the buy sell side, the investment management, or just manage my own thing. And I really found that I had to travel. You're right. So I would find a mentor, but I had to travel to that location. I didn't do a lot of the workshops and such, but I definitely found the same thing. But in my travels, I realized it didn't matter day swing, trend trading, you know, investment management or discretionary trading. It's definitely dominated by men. So, and very few were kind of egalitarian, let's put it that way. So I found it was really, for me, just in my, again, macro or micro, what did I want to do? I liked both hats. Restriction was not my jam. I wanted to do both. So I didn't have to learn any particular single track. I don't do well with that. I really like to scan and synthesize and bring it all together and connect dots. So that's hence why I kind of did my own thing. And then the question was, well, okay, you're day trading and you're a macro manager. It was confusing, but it still came to the same result. No matter where I found the mentors, you know, online or off, they were men. And it was really an active effort to try and, you know, accumulate, if you will, the voice of women, which is why I put together the FinTwit list. And then a few months ago, kind of started this twice a month, where highlighting, you know, a woman in the industry that has made an impact. In other words, I see that you're actively out there with the, I mean, obviously taking care of yourself and taking care of your clients, but you're actively trying to inspire women in this space or attract them to this space. So this, I honor and respect, because it's a lot of work and not very many are doing it. So.
So it's a passion of love, right? You have to love the market to really, really be successsul in it, to learn it first off.
Yeah.
And also, we were very fortunate.
And I also think women are kind of natural teachers. We're very, not just the, you know, the mothering thing, which, you know, we have lots of different roles, whether elder care or child care or partner care. But the point is this is a natural ability in many to nurture and also to teach. So I think that we're well suited for it, generally speaking, not to just, you know, but I think we are.
I do.
I think something else too is women a lot of times tend to be that financial budgeter of the family too. So they're automatically looking at that risk management of the household first, and then it transfers over into trading.
What I love is that I've had some, you know, some people who didn't know my style say that women can't be good traders. They're too risk averse. And I nipped that in the bud. It's called risk aware. It has, and also just knowing we're not willing to risk anything that we're more than we're willing to lose. So I think that just is risk aware. It's not risk averse at all. And I know both of you actively trade. So, you know, we've kind of been through this cycle of loss, you know, financial, personal, and it's a big deal to kind of overcome that and keep going and do better, because we want to, and it pulls it. I think it makes for a good example for others too. We're kind of more transparent about that for the most part, at least from what I have seen. It's been a nice experience. You have invited me on your, you and David, for your segments, or like quarterly or something, where you kind of go out and they are subject focused commodities or what have you. And I always want to bring my A game, because I don't speak very often. Actually, I'm busy in my own gig, but I mean, publicly, I don't speak very much. And then just recently with this webinar series, both Women in Finance and Trading, but also my Tuesday Macro to Micro Power Hour, which has been really well received. I feel this traction, but it's still very slow to launch in comparison to other sites that, you know, men on Twitter and YouTube, men on
Male
YouTube.
dominated sites. Exactly.
Oh my God. It's so, I'm like, it doesn't matter if I had GameStop explain to the nines or
Oh, I
Tilray
know.
explain to the nines. They've got 50,000 viewers and I've got, 50, maybe 500 on a good day.
Exactly.
It's frustrating.
Yep.
But we're passionate about it. We're not going to give up.
And
So-
we're very ambitious.
Very, and this is a lifelong thing that we can both do. So now, Jane, I know you said you had young children because we were talking about the 4 o'clock time frame, right? My 3 are on the wall, but they're all in college. So
Very nice. Yes, I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So it was when my 6-year-old, it was actually 6 years ago this month that I started my day trading journey. But 21 years ago, I had my Series 7 at Smith Barney in Atlanta. So I was originally my first layoff that took me away from the market because the dot-com bubble happened and they were laying off assistants. I was a registered assistant at that time. And so they were laying people off and I wanted to go to culinary school. So I took the voluntary layoff, followed another passion. And then it was the second layoff. It brought me right back.
Yeah. Well, mine are all in college, so it allows me to kind of really be ambitious. So what have you seen? I mean, Anka, for the years that, you've seen this transition, if you will, in the trader education space, not just women in trading. What have you seen in your own service? Do you see more women coming into it, or is it still, weighted with majority of men?
I see a lot of women in the service, but definitely, probably I would say that 70% are men in the service. And I'm trying to attract more and more women to trading. Before the pandemic, we do, Trade Out Loud does a lot of, events, investing events, like on-site events. And definitely it was, our events suffered a lot because of COVID. And we actually had an event scheduled last year. It's a Boca Traders Conference. And we invite basically a lot of women traders to our events. Mainly Florida traders. There are so many traders here in Florida, and the number is just going to increase right now. Because like if you're just walking on the street, you're gonna see like tons of cars that are out of state, like California, New York. It's like they're all over the place. So I see a lot of people right now, trying to find jobs that are remote. And I think trading, there are a lot of trading investment opportunities here and a lot of seminars that are being organized here. Like you would be surprised, there are some companies that are not in our, let's say in our sphere, like Twitter sphere, but there are so many companies here that are organizing all these events for women and also, day trading events, swing trading events, whether it's Forex or futures. And companies that, like I said, they have not, we have not heard of them, into our little circle. So there are like Florida is like #1 right now with all of these events that are going, and plus they're still on site events right now. So yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I don't know, Jane, actually, do you have a room? I know you contribute for, I think it was Trade Ideas for a few years running now. Because I'm familiar with that product.
Yeah, I was never a moderator in a room. I do teach in the training pit, which is at thedarkpools.com. So I help, it's a very basic room for people that are starting out so they get that good foundation. And we have 6 educators in there, 2 webinars a day, and they're able to see the live price action. They're able to see everything. And so I do that as well as my live stream 6 days a week on YouTube, which I invite everybody to come to and ask questions. It's a big time when I can share and then also answer questions for people that might be saying, oh my goodness, I have no clue. There's some people that have great experience that have been in the market for years that come in, and some brand new traders. What is a stock? What are you talking about? What is float? All that sort of stuff.
But in both roles, whether it's room moderation and education or you're live streaming, you are educating how you see the market, how you set up a trade, how you place the trade, how you manage risk, and you're making that all publicly available real time.
Mhm.
That's very
Exactly.
generous. I find that to be very generous.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I think the best thing in life is being able to help someone and hearing that you've changed their life for the better, especially with all the negativity that's going on in the news, the pandemic. There's so much negative bombardment. I try to help be a little bit of the positivity to help lift somebody up and help to empower them to be able to take their finances into their control, learn how to be on the right side of that trade. There's always money flowing, and it's a matter of being on the right side of the trade, knowing when to get in, when to get out, and not to be greedy. Just go for it. Go ahead and don't be scared to learn. It's possible.
So I see you as the future. What's the warrior guy?
Oh, Ross Cameron.
I see you as that future kind of role model where women, especially that, I know they have already the marketing to capture all kinds of eyeballs and clicks, but there are no women of that size, following on YouTube. And you definitely have to be approachable, and, educate well, trade well, but also be, just kind of down to earth and positive. So you could do that.
Thank
You could
Thank
totally,
you.
do that.
As long as I can do it and be present for my kids, that's what I'm all about. That's what brought me to here, to this.
Right. And it's such a huge responsibility because you have these individuals, these traders that are following you. So you have to make sure that, you really know what you're doing because they're putting their money on the line, and, it's super risky. So they're basically trusting you with all their life savings. And I know that, in the trading room,
That's way too heavy.
that's what I do. That's what I do every day.
That's
what
your
I do every
mindset.
day.
They're still responsible for their own trade execution.
It's true. It's true.
But that is
It's
your
true.
mindset of caring. That's my
Yes.
differentiating point, right? That's really, yeah.
The problem is that, but the problem is that, it's one thing, to teach them how to trade, and that's fine. But there are things like you need to show them how it works. And that's what I do in the trading room. I used to run for many years a managed accounts program. So I would just trade about 30 to 40 accounts at the same time. So I would trade their money. So I stepped away from that because I wanted a different lifestyle. So I wanted to trade less. I wanted to teach a little bit, but I also wanted the traders to take my trades because I know my trades are successful. I know how I trade. I have a track record for decades that is a true testament of the method that we're using and what we're teaching. And I really wanted to reinforce that for the traders. I wanted them to see me trade and to show them that it's possible. So my approach to trading is hand-holding system. So I not only that I teach them, but I spoon feed them the trade. So once they have the course, they're able, let's say they join the course, they want to learn how it's done, they get their money back from trading. So I show them how it's possible, how it can be done professionally. I know there are a lot of educators out there and we don't want to talk about that, but they just sell a course. It's a DVD, take it, see ya, good luck with that. All you have to do is put it together. So I have a different approach. And I think that's here, all three of us have the same approach. So not only that we teach the traders how to fish, we catch the fish for them. So,
but I am definitely not, my skill set is not teaching. My skill set is analyzing. So I want to understand really what's happening and decipher the market moves. And then I can translate that or operationalize that for clients in what's moving for sectors. So it's across every asset. So my focus is not just futures. And I know, Jane, you do options on equities, but I'm doing everything from, interest rates.
Me too. Yeah.
And it's way too much across 3 different time frames, and so I'm not going in and setting up every single trade like you are. So there are lots of themes and lots of engagement and answer to questions. But what is interesting is since the follow the leader trading programs are coming out. There are like 3 or 4 right now. One is eToro, it's coming to the States. There's another one, the Trade Exchange, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a number of programs that are popping up that are to basically allow your style of, I know like morning day trading, so to speak, right? enter a trade and then they'll follow along. Would you ever get involved in those? Because I'm just curious if that would be of interest.
Yeah, they have approached me. I don't have the time for that. And they could just come into my trading room if they want to trade with me. I run 2 programs, one for futures, one for day trading futures, and the other one for swing trading stocks and also commodities, etc. Anything of Forex, anything. So I basically do all assets. Because I take all the trades in my account, so I'm very transparent with what I take.
So you could easily set that up.
How I manage everything. So I do the analysis.
Yeah, you could easily set that up. I'm just saying if so.
Yeah, they have approached me. Traders Exchange have approached me, but I'm not interested. Yeah, the price.
Okay, so that's one way. It's like, why? What's the? I'm curious because that is one way. They don't have very many women, right? So they're looking for the commodity of the woman card to promote, but also to represent, to have better representation of female traders. So what's your hesitancy there?
First of all, I would say like the dedication that you have towards that, it would be like a different channel. So I wouldn't have to be necessarily focused on my trading room and my program. Yeah. So I would have to share everything with them. And it would be the shared, the profit sharing of the program. I have done this before many years ago with a really big, huge company where they were basically taking 50% of what I was making, and I was doing all the work. They weren't even promoting for me or anything like that. So I'm not interested in that aspect. I don't want to profit sharing. I don't want to do anything like that. So I think that the more you focus on your business without sharing it, and I think it's great for amateur traders to get in.
Well, I thought it was really interesting because you've already been approached and you've made the business case that it's too much of a distraction and it would also dilute from your client, secrets. In other words, all that stuff that your clients right now are paying for, it dilutes from that. But nonetheless, there is a movement toward that type of engagement because they can hook up with brokerage accounts. It's like, that lovely Staples button. Boom.
Or the Robin Hooders. Those are more the Robin Hooders. It's geared towards Robin Hooders mostly.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
How about Jane? Have you thought about that as a viable kind of, I guess, new opportunity or revenue stream, and also a way to reach out or help traders?
Well, actually, I am a partner, one of the leaders with Ticker Talker, and they just recently partnered with Webull as an educational resource. So every morning I do put out 7 different trade alerts for potential trade setups. So I give them the risk management aspect of, hey, look, this is the potential entry point. This is how you could potentially manage the trade. And it's super affordable entry point for people to get in. And so I do that. It's already work that I'm already doing. So I'm just adding it and sharing it onto another arena. It's not an actual live trade that I'm doing at that moment. This is the homework that I'm doing, my prep work every single morning that I'm sharing.
All right. So the moderation in the Stock Whisperers as educator, and then you have your own book, and then Ticker Talker, which is another kind of medium of promotion.
Correct. Exactly. Okay. Trying to really get out there and try to help reach all the women, reach women, men, anybody that's interested, and motivate them. It goes back to the education first and then into trading. If they don't do the education part first, this bear is going to eat them alive.
Okay. So this is very much on price action. Do any of you contribute articles, that type of thing, that is maybe market analysis or, whatever, insights on market related topics that are distributed, whether it be Seeking Alpha or, any other publication source?
I do some writing for Benzinga.
Okay.
Sorry, Anka.
No, I was just going to say, and so because I'm just wondering how that experience has been.
Yeah, well, I have a couple of friends over at Benzinga, and they're amazing people as well. And, they like the viewpoint of really sharing and trying to lift women up and liking what I'm doing and what I'm sharing. I'm also on the road to my CMT, Chartered Market Technician,
Oh,
as well. I
congratulations.
just
That's
passed
work.
level 1, thank you, in December, so on to level 2. And it comes back to that passion and really trying to open people's eyes to what's going on with the market. GameStop was the perfect storm in the market. If they hadn't have stopped the trading on it for people to buy it, it could have really sort of broken the market.
Yep.
And so I understand why they did what they did. Do I really like it? Necessarily? No. But in essence, people need to be aware of what they're getting into, and sharing things like that can help to really open their eyes. Hey, it's not as simple as, hey, I'm just going to buy this stock and let's see where it goes from here. Automatically, it's 50-50. Why not educate yourself and elevate those probabilities?
Well, there's definitely, I think, those who want to think and really want to understand what's moving, what the risks are, how to trade it, different ways to approach how to trade it, and those who just want the trade setup. So those vehicles for, facilitating, communicating the trade setup are definitely the ones that have the highest bounce rate also. So they might have a lot of attraction at first, but how many of them actually stick, that's a tougher one. So yeah, no, this is, I'm on publishing outlets, partnerships, my cat. So how else, are you seeing changes in the industry as far as where do you want to see change? Either. Jump.
Go for it, Anka.
Okay, so I think that necessarily, in terms of change, I don't know if I want to see any changes. The market is always changing.
Oh my
And
God,
that
yeah.
is because they are bringing more and more algos. I've been trading long enough, the dot-com era, all the way to through pandemic. I've traded through the 2008 financial crisis. That is actually before Trade Out Loud came about. And I was helping so many individuals because they were cashing in on their long-term accounts, and they were very scared. They were pulling money out of the market, where the end of 2008, 2009 was the time that you had to buy with both hands, like literally go out there and buy everything that there was, because it was the bottom. And as scary as it was, if you're a technician, and if you look at the technical pattern to the left-hand side of the chart, you would see like double bottom, double bottom, double top. The 2000 and 2008 top, 2009, beginning of 2009 bottom, and the bottom that was after, before the dot-com era came, and that double top expanded into higher. So once we broke higher, it was so technical. Everything is 100% very, very technical.
Yes, but you've been doing it for a while, so you could have a level of confidence that not others would necessarily have.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it was extremely technical. It was a huge buying opportunity. That is when, my portfolio exploded. And that was the time when I said, I got to quit my job right now, because I was doing like a lot of investments for myself. And it's like, I really got to quit everything and just focus on my trade. And I was focused on my trading for a very long time. And for about 2 years, I've done a lot of pro bono work with a lot of my friends, acquaintances. Back then I was in Detroit, Michigan. I would host a lot of lunch and learn classes for General Motors, for Chrysler, for Ford, for a lot of physicians that were there. And I helped a lot of individuals. And then I realized, like, I got to do something for myself. So that's when Trade Out Loud came about. It's like, I got to organize this stuff, because I was spending so much time educating people, and they were like, okay, but I want to learn how it's done. I want to learn how you do it. I want to learn how to invest. So that is when my first course came out on how to invest in the stock market. So I was offering this course. I had it backed up by a service, because I could not just leave them with the course and say, see ya. I mean, it was nice, that you learn now, and now you have to learn how to swim. She is so adorable. It's a maturity.
She's afraid she's going to miss a meal. I promise you, she never, ever, ever has. No. Sorry.
Gorgeous. Yeah, so
gotta me near 5 o'clock. Yep, she's one of those, right? It's a little early. Can I get fed a little early? Okay, so the course route for you, and how about Jamie, when you came in, you're learning, and now it's your journey that you're sharing and you're educating. For me, I mean, you wrote a book. I mean,
I wrote a book because it was the book I was looking for. And so I really wanted to see a book just about women. And so that's where it came from. I'd read Market Wizards. I read Momo Traders. I was really into the momentum trading. And then I went, wait a second, there's no book about women out there. Yes, there's, Market Wizards. Yeah, they have a couple women sprinkled in. But overall, was there a book about female traders? No. And so I went from 5 months to over 25 years of experience, showing that there's people from different backgrounds. It doesn't matter. It comes back to that drive to learn and manage your risk, bottom line, right? And no matter what your background is, it's possible if you have that dedication.
So would you have a follow-up book to that, or anything else that you think needs to be said?
Yes, I have an idea to do a documentary actually for Netflix. It hasn't happened as of yet, but I wanted to do a secondary one and also turn that into a book because it's much conversational style, my first book. And so it's a very easy read. You could read it in about 6 hours. And it's just really inspiring. And so I wanted to do that again. I also have a podcast too. And so on the podcast, I have Pinky, who is an absolutely amazing trader. She's been trading for over 65 years. And so being able to bring in people, women, that she was trading with paper certificates that she had to go down to the bank. And if she wanted to sell them, she had to get the certificate, endorse it, and hand it over to the broker. So the evolution of technology in the trading world as well has just been so amazing. And people don't realize how lucky they are at the present time to have all this technology at their fingertips to be able to trade down to the second. You don't have to wait to get a paper certificate, to receive that, to endorse it, to hand it over. With the NASDAQ expanding all electronic technology, the first exchange to have that. Now we saw last year, the first time that the New York Stock Exchange was closed in over 120 years, that was the first time ever no human was on the floor of the exchange, which makes you say, all right, yes, this is all a technology run system now. And as Anka had said, all of these algorithms are out there. You need to not figure out the market, but try to figure out those targets. The targets on the macro view are going to be different from the micro view, but I also take that same viewpoint. I will trade something on a day trading scale, and then I'm also going to position trade for a longer term picture, so that it's a mix of both. But once you get that technical analysis down and you understand it, you can figure out the targets on a smaller time frame. You can figure them out on a larger time frame.
100%.
It's mathematical and less emotional.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I had for years shared with clients kind of my pattern recognition sense, and it's technical, but it's also intermarket analysis. So I have this like separate brain for macro that I kind of want to rationalize and operationalize what's going on with the economy and politics and all of that kind of drives volatility moves. So I turned into, okay, I'm going to study volatility. I want to be a volatility trader. Turned into, I need to understand quant. So I got into that little thing, but at the core was this pattern recognition, technical analysis, intermarket analysis, which I really is kind of like my secret sauce. And then I layer on top everything else: fundamental, macro, sentiment, quant. But the thing I had noticed was I was using the same type of patterns over and over and over again. So I decided, all right, I'm sharing this with clients on an intraday and for the chases, right? The short duration stuff. And then the swing trading stuff, and then trends are kind of portfolio hedging stuff. I had it built into algos. My first indicators, they just went live on 3. So on 3 different durations, because we've talked about that: chase, swing, and trend. So I had something that I've used for years with clients, actually developed in the form of algorithmic trading signals, just hosted it on a partner site, BigTech.io. He's the gentleman, Jonathan Gibbons, who founded and it's brilliant. And basically, this is like a marketplace for those who want to create their own systems. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. I love it. It's working. I'm excited. It goes on the Apple Store March 15th. But I never thought that I would be doing, algos, right? Because we track the activity, whether it be, the dark pools, the unusual option activity, what have you, but actually to develop, pay to have this system turned into math.
Mhm.
So that's where I went from my migration of, learning the macro to the micro to now algos. And I'm excited to kind of bring that out there and use this as an indicator set totally separate from what I do. So I can still, you know, I can still do my thing in my head as it relates to trying to solve the puzzle of the market, which I totally love. We all love this. This is kind of like, ooh, how to position, but also how to predict. And so this is very different for me not to have any hand holding. This is completely standalone indicators. They don't need me at all. No engagement with clients for the most part. That's going to be different. Wish me luck. I have no idea how it's going to go.
That's
No
amazing.
idea.
Congratulations.
No
That's
idea.
a huge step. So congratulations to you.
Knock on wood, it goes well. I'll find out. It's in beta right now with a whole bunch of users. Launched at Valentine's Day, and then it gets rolled out literally globally on March 15th. So
congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank
Awesome.
you. In the meantime, I have the day job. So but this is the fun stuff. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we get to kind of talk market structure on Tuesdays with Jonathan, and then on Thursdays, really try and find out what's happening with women in trading. You're doing some amazing stuff. And now let's talk about the women conference that's coming up, Anka, because that is literally a week and a half away. And we were going to do this a little bit closer, but next Thursday I have SPAC Attack 2. So I had done this webinar, which was for these, special purpose acquisition corporations, and they are just hot fire flames for 2020 and into 2021. Like they're raising $1 billion a day in these blank check IPOs. So they are hotter than Hades, right? So I did this thing about 5 weeks ago, and it was 3 times oversubscribed. It was crazy. Because everyone is just so excited. These celebrity CEOs, the target deals, tech momentum, OMG. So I'm going to do a catch up next week. And this is when I could kind of get the investment banker with the investment manager and myself all aligned to find out what's happened, since that. And then where we're going to go forward, especially with interest rates rising. So that's the kind of thing I like to do. And that was all brought about because a client said, you should do a talk about SPAC warrants. So I go in and I dig in. Who should I talk with?
That's how it happens, though. That's how it organically
happens.
And that's the amazing thing.
Yep. So now I know a lot about SPACs. Okay. So the following week, though, the 1st through the 5th, Anka, you have an ambitious agenda. I don't know how many women, but a whole bunch of them.
A whole bunch of women
are coming in, and they're going to present on a topic of their choice to an audience ready, willing, and able to receive all kinds of good trading secrets and
right.
approaches.
Right. We're going to have thousands and thousands of signups for this event. And last year was a huge success. We were able to help so many traders find a home and find their niche. And I'm going to circle back to something that Jane said that resonated with me. She said, I wrote a book because nobody else did it. And I had to put it out there. And I think that every one of us here, pretty much follow the same line. I created a trading room and a education program that I would have loved to be part of when I started trading, just like Jane. And you're following your passion as well. So this is so inspiring because you're creating now something that you really wish there was, and you're making it happen. So I think that's fantastic. And, finding a home for all the traders out there that want to be inspired by women, by their creativity, by their ambition, by their passion. and everything else that goes in to the markets. And we all share the same love, the love of markets. And it's not only about, you know, making money in the market, but it's about loving what you do. Because if you have a job where you literally hate it, and I know that some traders get into this business for the wrong reasons. They hate what they're doing. They go like, I just want to make money. I could care less. I hate candlesticks. I hate technical analysis. I can't understand it. I just want the money. So trading is not going to work for them. You need to love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, you're going to be very successful. And again, it's about dedicating a lot of time into the market and watching it. So circling back to the event that we're going to be hosting in March, very excited. It's March 1st through March 5th. We, I think we're going to have about 6 women per day, 6 to 7 women per day during
Wonderful.
5 days. It's going to be huge. And it is going to be very interesting. These are women that are trading futures, that are trading Forex, that are investors, long-term investors. These are women that have been trading for a very long time or for just 2 years, and they found their mojo and they're making it work. So they're running with it because they got it. And what better time? I mean, you know, last year we had it under pandemic circumstances, right? Where everybody was like, oh yeah, it's going to be a lockdown. You know, they saw it more or less like a vacation. But a lot of, you know, a lot of individuals, I see a lot of individuals, even in my trading room, that took it very seriously. And they use this time, you know, instead of watching Tiger King, you know, on Netflix, they dedicated and they started to learn how to trade, and they made it work for them. And we are going to have, you know, traders like, and trading psychologists and investors and all that stuff from all walks of life that dove into trading. It's going to be fantastic. So we're going to have Jody Samuels, former institutional trader at JP Morgan. She specializes, for example, in Elliott waves. She's a specialist. She is incredible. I met her at every Traders Expo that money show that we've been to, and we presented together. Also, we have Miss Schneider.
I know her well. She was actually the very first guest.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was my very first guest.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's an inspiration as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we have Tony Hansen as well. She is absolutely amazing. Most of these women I know personally from the Traders Expos. We have Carly Garner, and she's a wonderful broker and trader. She's on Bloomberg all the time. We have also Ala Peters. She used to be a registered nurse. And now she's a trader and very successful one. We have Marina Villatoro. She's an expat living in, I think she's in Guatemala.
Yeah, Guatemala.
Guatemala, yeah. She's in Guatemala, and she will be presenting. She has 2 kids. She wanted to have, she had a passion for the markets, and she wanted to make this work. She also has a really cool travel blog. So she's like, you know, going from travel blogs to trading. So trading fits her lifestyle because she's trading just a couple hours in the morning, and that's it. We have Mandy, and she's a trading psychology. She's from Australia.
Mandy Porasanjani.
Yes.
Good job.
She's Persian. My husband's Persian.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so we have, I'm just trying to think from the top of my head, Melissa Armo. She, I used to trade together. We used to trade together a long time ago. We used to do stocks together, and that was like in 2003 or 2004. So we go way back. And she's she's a guest on Fox Business a lot. Stephanie Kammerman. She's a really good friend with Jane and I. So, by the way, we're looking to party together sometime soon.
I know. We got to go to Vegas. We got to do this in Vegas. We talked about it 3 years ago. We got to have the women in trading in Vegas.
You have to. Yes, definitely. Definitely. We have to put it together. We have to. Maybe next year because on March 8th, it's International Women's Day.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to bring awareness, not only for US, but for the world. So we're trying to spread our antennas overseas to try to see if we can find other traders that we can bring together. We're trying to bring Kathy Lean, and she's Forex. She has a super busy schedule, and I know last time she was not able to make it. What we had Boris on one of the events, her trading partner. We have Julie Vance, and she's from Trader Insight, and she's also fantastic. Both her husband and her, they're both trading, and they're more trading psychology. That's how they started with trading psychology.
Okay.
And they dove into trading. So fantastic stories, inspirational, and you guys are invited as well, obviously.
Can't wait. Now, when are you speaking, Jane? What's your slot?
I'm on Wednesday. I believe it's at 11, I think, or maybe it's in the afternoon. I'm on Wednesday. I know that. I'm on the 3rd.
No idea when I am.
David says 1 o'clock, and I run my trading room every morning until noon, so I always do the afternoon thing. I'm Wednesday as well, but I think it's 4.
1 p.m. Hey, David.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Thanks, David. 1 p.m. I guess that's me. So you must be 4 p.m.
I'm 4 p.m. Okay. I like to do it after the close. I really just don't leave this seat. I don't leave at 4 o'clock. I will talk to somebody. So that's why
we're usually done by about 11:30. Then the mom duties, the mom hats come on.
Yeah, no, I'm way too much going on. Yeah, I wish, but no, I'm not even looking for that, actually. I like the work. I like the challenge of it. So I'm going to keep going with this schedule until I can't. But for right now, I'm looking at the schedule going, okay, it's ambitious. You've got a lot of women, a lot of good topics to cover. This was one way I wanted to help promote it and I will definitely put the link in when I post the YouTube video, which is by the way, new site. Let me just show this real quick. Yes. I want to do YouTube. I want to do all kinds of things. All right, so this is my YouTube channel, and I've got a few playlists here. The first one is this Tuesday that I do with Jonathan, Macro to Micro Power Hour. I had Jared Dillian on, real estate gurus, my oil trading friend who has just never had a bad trade in oil. It's just impressive. When I do presentations for you, Anka and David, they come here. Last one was that commodity one back in December, which worked out well. But this is down below my kind of like when I do an occasional, like you're impressive, Jane. You do this every single day.
Once you build it into your schedule, though, it just becomes your schedule. Even on Monday, on Monday, 12:15, I'm like, I'm missing my live stream. I'm missing everybody.
Oh my God, I don't know how to do it. Anyway, the women and the women in trading and finances down here. Last time I had a quant woman by the name of Lily. She's developed an options indicator, for lack of a better word, and she got picked up by Real Vision after I interviewed her. It was really super. And then she was on Bloomberg. Okay, listen, it's not 5 yet. I'm so sorry. So I think it's really cool that I've had some women who are young. For example, Lily's only 25. And those who've been in the industry for a while, like Ms. Schneider, right? So it's been a really good experience. And I want to just let you know, it's going to be posted here as soon as we're done. We'll get that up and posted, and I will definitely put in the link for the conference. And David will remind us of our time slots. But what else is going to be in the year ahead plan for our kind of, self promotion, for lack of a better word? But seriously, what are some of the highlights that you're looking forward to this year, other than getting past COVID and getting together?
I think for me, it's probably. Oh, go ahead, Anka.
I think altogether making it a successful year is like balancing your lifestyle with your work and making, because this is not a job. I mean, for me at least, even when I teach, it's literally something that you love doing. So it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. So I consider myself retired. So I don't consider myself employed per se, because I really love what I'm doing. So when you love what you're doing, you literally, it's not a job. It's not a chore. I am excited to wake up every morning and look at the market. And the reality is that having a trading room and being Jane can probably, agree with me here. You perform better because you're forced, to share really good insights. You're forced to share really good trading ideas, and you have the audience as a motivator. So it's really great to see that everything comes to fruition. So I think that, for this year, just continue and, just to be myself. And I think it's important that, we balance, we do what we love, and, let's not try to set like unrealistic goals, because everybody that starts with a resolution at New Year, that resolution is out the door January 30th at the latest. So I think that it's very important, like to, take it very easy, enjoy life. Let's just enjoy life with everything that is around us. My goal this year is to enjoy life.
That's a good one. How about you, Jane?
I think for me, I'm already doing a lot to share, but to create some more educational tools for people. And it's much like your talk about your SPAC that you wanted to get into. Mm-hmm. People have asked me, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? And so that's how everything started happening organically, was people were asking for it. And then I was fulfilling their desires as far as what they wanted, even with my YouTube videos. Hey, what do you guys want to see? And then that's what I make. So creating the tools more that they're asking for to help more people and see the positive that comes from that.
Oh, very nice. Well, I wish you ladies both a lot of success in everything you touch, professionally, personally, better weather. I'm talking as we get snow here in the Boston area. But I really appreciate this time to kind of share what you do and your confidence. You exude confidence, but there's also a lot of competence and passion involved in that whole, persona. So I really appreciate that. It is my mantra that women can be what they can see, and it's not necessarily so obvious where so many women are trading, maybe in the shadows, or don't find really a voice in some of these trading rooms, because again, they're either sometimes ignored or talked over or talked down to. That is a symptom of a problem, but it's changing, and there's so much to be excited about. We can see it all around with the elevation of women and the power, if you will. But we definitely need to work on that whole building of wealth for women. This is definitely a time where they've been hard hit. The she session is real as it relates to what's happened in the past year. And this is definitely an avenue, if done, with good mentorship and also risk aware. And I think that is definitely the continuity that we're bringing to this space, is less of the bravado and more of the attention to expressing yourself, trade how you want. There are lots of ways to make money. The trick is not to lose it. And I think that we're advancing that cause, if you will. So I thank you very much for this time. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to the first week of March and the Trading Women's Conference. I will put a link in the description when I upload this video. So thank you again, ladies. Have a great evening and weekend.
Thank you so much, Samantha. It was great. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Samantha, for reaching out. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.